Part six, y'all. Part six. Let's jump on in. Okay, y'all. So, right before Ernestine is pushed into the pond by Miss Minnie, she actually sees a reflection. Now, we all know that bodies of water are portals. So, when she saw her reflection, she saw herself in all white, she saw her head wrapped in white, and she also saw Miss Minnie dressed in white as well. So, she was so like fixed on looking at this image that was looking back at her that she did not even feel when Miss Minnie pushed her. Once she was pushed into the water, y'all, it's like she went down and it was like she went through a rebirth, y'all. Like I said, bodies of waters, they're known as portals. So it's like when she came out, y'all, she was in a different time. It was like she was looking at something through eyes, but she didn't know if they were her eyes. It was like she was just from the outside looking in on the situation. And what she saw, y'all, she saw the lady from the picture, which was Frank and Frederick's mother, which is Miss Minnie's daughter. Okay, so she saw her as a 15-year-old girl. Come to find out, she was actually sleeping with a married man. Okay, now this man actually made a deal with, we're going to say, Legba at the crossroads. Okay, he made a deal for fame. And he did go on to be a famous preacher in that area. And he was very wealthy. But he was a crooked preacher. So in this deal that he made, y'all, he was required to give or sacrifice the firstborn son of each generation following him. Okay? So Miss Minnie, her daughter, which her name is Justine, she caught wind of this. So that's why she didn't want the babies. From finding out what he had done, she thought that the babies would be evil. Okay, so she felt that if she gave them away or separated them, that this curse would not touch them as well. So that's why Ernestine, when she was pregnant with her second child, it was a boy, and the baby passed away. This is coming like generational curses. Okay, so that is the reason why she actually gave the babies away. Then the scene kind of flashed because it's basically like she's looking at a movie. Okay, the scenes flash to Miss Minnie. It shows Miss Minnie looking for her daughter. Okay, not being able to find her, and then it shows months later her body was found. Then it flashes to Miss Minnie getting her justice. Okay, when I tell y'all she put this man in some kind of jar that had him folded like a lawn chair, he went from being a famous preacher in the surrounding areas where he lived to being completely bedridden. Okay, whatever spell she casted on him or however she worked him, it made him suffer for a very long time. Okay, so it showed Miss Minnie getting her retribution for her daughter. So it was confirmed that the preacher did take the daughter's life after finding out about the babies and also, not being able to track the babies down or get them back. He took it out on her. He found her and he took her life. But Miss Minnie actually handled that in the end. Then her visions flipped to her. She actually could see herself in different past lives. In every past life that she saw, she was definitely a high ranking priestess. She had healing hands. She could read energy. Okay. She was very powerful. All of these things began to unlock inside of her. She also found out that her grandmother also practiced root work years ago, but left it and went back to the church. From this, that's why Ernestine never learned anything about it because her grandmother did not teach her mother or her aunt, and she kind of just broke it and left it. She didn't continue the practice throughout their family, but that did not stop Ernestine from being the powerful priestess that she truly was. When Ernestine woke up, she was laying on a bed and she was wrapped all in white. She had a headache and she sat up and she said, "Oh my God, how did I get here? What happened?" Miss Minnie then goes on to say, "You happened, the real you. That push initiated you and opened up your mind to everything that you had blocked out. And miraculously, Ernestine could remember everything she saw. She got a sense of peace that came over her. She got a sense of acceptance, and she felt that she was able to move on with her life. But she also knew that she would never look at life the same, and she would always look at life in a very different and spiritual way. From that point on, she asked Miss Minnie would she mentor her and teach her everything she needed to know about spell work, spirituality, and how to maintain and keep these things going for her bloodline as well. Miss Minnie agreed to help her. She told her, "Come down here once a month and we can do work and I can mentor you and I can mold you into the person that you want to be." So finally it came time for the day for them to go back home. Kayla definitely didn't want to go back, y'all. Her and Ron had a real strong connection, and she promised him that every weekend that Ernestine came down for her mentorship, that she would come down and see him as well. They stopped back by Miss Minnie's house just to say their goodbyes. As they were getting in the car, they seen a car coming up the driveway. Ernestine couldn't believe her eyes. It was actually Frank. He pulled up and got out. Everybody was shocked, y'all. Ernestine ran over to him. She said, "What are you doing here? I didn't think you were going to come." The first thing Frank did was pick his wife up and hug her in a tight embrace. He looked at her eyes and he told her, "If I had to choose between losing you and meeting my family, I guess meeting my family is what it's got to be. I don't want to lose you. I love you." Then he went on to say that he was sorry for the way he been acting, but he had a lot of stress on him. Then Ernestine proceeds to ask him, "What were you doing at that rude lady's house back home? I followed you that night. Were you trying to put something on me?" He said, "No, baby. I just needed some good luck or some mojo because I've been gambling. I didn't want you to know. I lost some money, but I'm stopping. I'm not doing that anymore. I want to work on me and you." Ernestine was so happy to hear those words come from Frank. Then it came the big time for Frank to meet his brother, Frederick. The two men embraced each other, and everybody gave them some time to talk. He also met Miss Minnie, her children, and they also had a nice dinner. They decided to stay one more night so that Frank could get more acquainted with his family, and then finally they went back home. After going back home, things got a lot better. Ernestine got stronger and stronger in her practice. She spoke with Miss Minnie almost every other day. They stuck to their plan. She started going down there once a month to be mentored, and Kayla was always the sidekick, seeing Ron. Finally, Ron popped the question. Kayla and Ron got married. Kayla moved down there with Ron, and eventually, Frank and Ernestine did as well. Frank was happy to embrace his new family, even though he still loved his adopted parents, but he knew it was time for him to embrace his bloodline. And everything pretty much worked out for them, y'all. Miss Minnie always told Frank, "Frank, you are lucky. You have a good woman. Do you know that you married to magic?" Thank y'all for sticking with me to the end. It is I, your girl, Divine Chosen. And as always, I'm going to holla. Peace, y'all.